Hello dear students, let us start our discussion about torque experiencing by a current loop which is in shape of rectangular in an uniform magnetic field. So this is our topic, and we want to calculate how much torque can be experienced by a rectangular coil which when placed in a uniform magnetic field. So for it, let us assume that we have a rectangular coil which makes some angle with the direction of the magnetic field. To represent the direction of magnetic field and the plane of the coil, we assume that this is a direction of y-axis and this one is the x-axis, and other is along towards you, that is z-axis. So if the direction indicated by I cap for x-axis, j cap for y-axis and k cap for z-axis, then if we assume that the coil which is free to revolve around its axis, that is along the y-axis in a plane of yz, then suppose that the magnetic field present in x direction, a uniform magnetic field which is present in x direction and is uniform everywhere, then we can assume about a coil which is placed in this uniform magnetic field like such that, and the plane of this coil makes an angle theta with the direction of the magnetic field which is lying along the x-axis. Okay, and the axis of the coil about which it is free to rotate is along y-axis, and if we assume that the angle made by the plane of the coil with the direction of the magnetic field at any instant of time is theta, then suppose if there is a current flowing through the coil and the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction like such that here the current I, also here I, here is I and here is I, and if we denote the rectangular coil by the name P, Q, R, S, and also since the rectangular coil, so the breadth of the coil is taken as the B and the length of the coil is taken by the symbol L. So what will be the area, that is LB, and what will be the force experiencing by each line of this wire which is placed in uniform magnetic field, because all this current wire that is also considered as a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field. So this current carrying conductor experiencing a force. Also this current carrying conductor is experiencing another force. This is also experiencing a force. This one is also experiencing a force. So let us calculate how much force can be experienced by each of the current carrying conductor placed in this uniform magnetic field. So if we calculate the force experiencing by the conductor PS of the rectangular coil, so what will be the magnitude and what will be the direction of this force? To calculate the direction of this force experiencing by the rectangular current loop PS, or simple current loop PS, then the current is flowing through S2P and the direction of the magnetic field is along x-axis, that is making an angle theta with this line. So if we stretch our finger like that, according to Fleming's left hand rule, if we indicate the direction of magnetic field with our first finger or forefinger, and the direction of the current flowing through the loop or the wire is by this middle finger, then the thumb indicates the direction of the force experiencing by the current loop. Okay, so the direction of the force experiencing by this loop, because this wire is just placed in YZ plane, okay, making some angle theta with the direction of x-axis. So it is just along the direction of the axis of coil. So force experiencing by the current carrying conductor PS of the rectangular coil experiencing a force FPS whose direction is just perpendicular to the both B and PS and acting along the axis of the coil. So if we write the value of this PS, then we can calculate what will the value of this. This will be equal to I into B. This is the length of the coil which is placed in uniform magnetic field, and cross the magnitude, the value of the magnetic field, that is B. So if we want to calculate what will be the value of this force, then from here we can get that I B into B sine of theta, because the angle between this B and B is theta. So the magnitude of this force will be equal to IB sine of theta. And similarly, if we want to calculate the force experiencing by the conductor part of the rectangular coil, that is QR, then what will be the value of this force? If we are seeing, then we get that the direction of the current flowing through the coil is along this Q2R, and the direction of the magnetic field is along x-axis, that is if there is a magnetic field along this, then there is angle theta. Then what will be the direction of the force experiencing by this current carrying conductor? This will be perpendicular to both, that is magnetic field and the coil, and it will be just along the downward direction. It means the perpendicular to the direction of axis of the coil, that is FQR. Okay, so because we already assume that the direction of magnetic field is along x-axis, which is represented by a symbol I cap, and the direction of the axis of coil is along y-axis, that have a direction of j cap. So if we write this in vector form, then we can get what will be the direction of this force. This is along this, and if we want to calculate what will be the magnitude of this force, this will be equal to IBB sine of theta. Now from here we can also get what will be the value of this force according to Fleming's left hand rule. We get the direction of this along the here, and the length of this QR, that is B, also cross B. Okay, so if we explain it, then we get VB sine of theta, and the direction is just along downward from the y-axis, that is negative of the j cap. Okay, so we can write from here what will be the magnitude of this force experiencing by this part of the coil. This will be equal to IBB sine of theta. This is question number 2. From first and second, we are seeing that the magnitude of the force experiencing by the length PS and QR of the rectangular coil is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Since P, F, PQ, PS and FQR are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, so they cancel each other, so they cancel out each other. It means the net force experiencing by the both conductor placed in magnetic field is 0. Now if we talk about the torque, so moreover if we talk about the torque, we are seeing that the direction of the line of action, a force acting on this current carrying conductor, and this current carrying conductor is parallel or coinciding each other. It means the action line of force acting on this conductor is coincided with the direction of the action line of force acting on this conductor part. So what will be the total torque? Because both force coincides its lines of action, so we can write it at here, since moreover the lines of force of both lines of action line of force coincide each other, hence they will produce no torque. So tau due to these two forces equal to 0. It means these two forces contributes none type of torque. It means in the torque experiencing by a current loop in a uniform magnetic field is provided by only the current flowing in this line, that is RS and PQ, but not by QR and PS. Okay, now let us calculate what will be the amount of the torque experiencing by this coil due to the current flowing in PQ and RS. Okay, so let us calculate first what will be the force experiencing by the part of the coil, that is PQ and RS. So if you want to calculate what will be the value of the force experiencing by the part PQ, so we are seeing that the current flowing through the coil wire is I, then and the length of this conductor which is placed in uniform magnetic field is L, then the force experiencing by this part of the coil will be equal to I into L cross B, and the direction of this force will act along the direction which is perpendicular to the both, that is along the B and along the L, because the current is flowing in this wire is vertically downward, so direction of L is taken in downward. So if we apply the Fleming's left hand rule, then we find that this is the magnetic field and this one is the current flowing through the wire. So this thumb indicates the direction of the force experiencing by this coil or this wire. So the direction of the force is acting outward, normally outward to the plane of this board. So FPQ is acting towards it direction. So this can be written as if we explain it, then we get what ILB and direction of this along this, that is normal to the plane of the board, are both normal to the both, that is I and B. So if we write about PQ, FPQ, what will be the magnitude of this force? So we get I into L, B, sine of angle between L and B, sine of angle between L and B, because L is acting downward and B is acting along the x-axis. So the L and B makes 90 degree with each other. So we can write it here 90 degree. So from here we get the magnitude of force acting on the arm PQ of this rectangular coil, that is that have a magnitude of ILB. So if this equation is treated as third equation, and if we want to calculate what will be the force experiencing by the arm RS due to this magnetic field, then we can easily calculate it FRS, that will be equal to I into L cross B, because the length of this conductor is also L, which is placed in the magnetic field. So if we want to calculate what will be the magnitude of this force, this will again obtained as I into L into B, and the sine of the angle between L and B, because we are seeing that the direction of L is taken along vertical upward direction, and that is along y-axis, and the direction of B is along here. So the direction of force is acting along inward direction, that is negative of the K. So from here we get what will be the value. If we want to find out the direction of this force, then this will be acting along the K. So what is the magnitude? This will be equal to sine of 90 becomes 1, that is ILB. So magnitude of the R and S is equal to what? ILB, and also magnitude of the force acting on the arm PQ is also ILB. Now we are seeing that the force experiencing by both these arm PQ and RS are equal in magnitude, ILB and ILB, but the force experiencing by the arm PQ is along K direction, and the force experiencing by the RS is along minus of K in direction. The force experiencing by the force experienced by the arm RS is along the minus K direction. So what will be the perpendicular distance between these two forces? Are these two forces are coinciding each other? If they are coinciding, then the net torque due to these two forces will also equal to 0. But we are seeing that these two forces are separated by a particular perpendicular distance. It means the action line of these two forces are separating by a distance. When we rotate this coil with the direction of the magnetic field, then the angle, the distance between the action line of forces will decreases continuously, and when the plane of the coil becomes the parallel to the direction of the perpendicular direction of the plane of the coil becomes along the direction of magnetic field. It means when this angle becomes 90 degree, then at that time the total both these forces coincides each other. It means the action line of both these forces coincide each other, and at that time they are experiencing no torque. So and in other cases, when this angle theta is not equal to 90 degree, the both force possess some perpendicular distance between their action line of force. Okay, so from here we are seeing that the magnitude of these two forces are equal in opposite, hence they are cancel out each other, their effect, hence the net force acting on the rectangular coil is 0. But due to the separation between the action line of these two forces, they produces some torque. So let us calculate what will be the amount of torque experiencing by this coil. Okay, let us start discussion about torque experiencing by a rectangular coil. Suppose that this one is the direction of the magnetic field, and here is a rectangular coil. This is the direction of magnetic field, and the plane of this coil makes an angle theta with the direction of this magnetic field. So the value of the current, that is I, flowing through this coil, this is the I. So breadth of this rectangular coil is B, length is L, and when the angle between the plane of the coil with the direction of magnetic field is theta, then what will be the angle of the normal of the plane of coil? Normal of the plane of coil, this makes, suppose that phi, then from here we get what will the value of theta and phi, this will be equal to 90 degree. What will be the force experiencing by this arm of this rectangular coil? This will be equal to FPQ, and direction of this force is along K, so FPQ, and the force experiencing by this is along minus of K, that is F. This one is RS, FRS. So if we want to calculate the perpendicular distance between these two action line of forces, then we have to draw a perpendicular from one force to the other action line of force. This is the perpendicular distance between, this is the perpendicular distance between two action line of force. Okay, so if the angle between the direction of magnetic field to the direction of the plane of coil is theta, then this angle is also equal to theta. Okay, because this action line of force is lying along this direction, and the perpendicular drawn from here to here makes an angle theta with this action line of force from this point. So from here we can get that what will be the perpendicular distance between the action line of forces, that will be, because this will be equal to B. So what will be this, because this is 90 degree, this is the hypotenuse, and this one is a perpendicular. So from here we get that we get the base upon hypotenuse equal to cos of theta. So hypotenuse cos theta will be equal to base. So this perpendicular distance, if we write it as by the name, suppose that this one is L, this is M. So what will be the length of LM? This will be equal to B cos theta. So what will be the value of the torque in magnitude? This can be defined as the magnitude of the force experiencing by both of the arm, either force, that is ILB, and what will be the perpendicular distance between these action line of forces, that is LM. So you can write it as ILB into B cos theta. After rearranging, you get I into LB into B of cos theta, LB, that is the total area of this loop. So this can be written as A I A B cos of theta. Okay, so now we can replace this theta in terms of phi, because this normal makes phi degree with the direction of the magnetic field. So theta plus phi, since theta plus phi is equal to 90 degree, so from here theta equal to 90 minus phi. So if we replace this theta by 90 minus phi, we get I into A into B sine of cos of 90 minus phi. So this becomes I A B sine of phi. Okay, so suppose that if the coil contains n turns, then each turn carries a current of I, so total current is Ni through each turn or each arm. So what will be the total magnitude of the torque experienced by such coil if they contain n turn? So they becomes Ni A B sine of phi. Okay, this is the magnitude of the torque. But if you want to write this value of this torque in vector form, then we can write it as how? Since we know that the product of this I and A can be defined as a term that is known as a magnetic dipole moment. Now from here, A is the area vector of this plane and B is the magnetic field in which the coil is present. And because when tau can be expressed in terms of this in vector form, then we have to write in the cross product, because tau is a vector quantity, so it can be explained in the vector product of two different physical quantity. So we have to cross multiply the two physical quantity which is also in vector form. So we can multiply A cross B. So if we multiply A cross B, then we get what? A cross B, the direction of A is always perpendicular to here and B is here, because the force experiencing is on the coil is in such direction, it always tends to rotate the coil in anti-clockwise direction. So since the coil is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, so the torque experiencing by this coil will act along the axis in upward direction. So this will obtain when we multiply the cross product of A to the B, direction of A to the B according to Maxwell's right hand thumb rule. So we can write in vector form it as tau is equal to Ni into A cross B, because the angle between the A and B is phi. So we can write it as tau is equal to Ni A cross B. If we place I with A, then we get what? N I A cross B, and we know that the value of I and A is what? M, that is magnetic dipole moment of the coil. That is magnetic dipole moment of the coil, where M is the I into A, magnetic dipole moment of coil, magnetic dipole moment of the coil. Okay, so this is the vector form of the torque experiencing by a coil which is placed in uniform magnetic field. Now if we are talking about the angle theta and phi, then it should be taken very carefully, and also the sine and cos because when we are taking the angle made by the plane of this coil with the direction of magnetic field, then we are talking about theta, and it should be taken in the form of cos. But we are taking the angle between the perpendicular direction of the plane of coil to the magnetic field, then it can be taken as phi, and it must be taken in terms of sine. Okay, so when you are taking phi, that is the angle between the perpendicular direction of the coil to the magnetic field, then you are taking term sine of phi in this formula. So this is the vector form of the torque experiencing by the coil, and this is the magnitude of the torque experiencing by the coil. Now let us talk about some special cases torque experiencing by the coil. So suppose that if phi equal to 0, if phi is equal to 0, then sine of phi becomes 0, so magnitude of the torque experiencing by the coil becomes 0. And if phi is equal to 90, then what will be the torque experiencing by the coil? That will be equal to NIAB, that is the maximum, tau max. Okay, and the direction of torque is always along the axis of the coil. So direction of the torque is always along the axis of the coil, and it depends in upward direction or downward direction. It totally depends on the rotation of the coil. If the coil is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, then the direction of the torque experiencing by the coil will act along in vertical direction. But if coil is rotating in clockwise direction, suppose that if we reverse the direction of the current flowing through the coil, then the total torque experiencing by the coil is acting downward. Okay, but it will always act along the axis of the coil. And what will be the unit of the torque experiencing by the coil? That will be Newton meter. So unit of torque will be equal to Newton meter. Okay, when we measure the I in ampere, A in meter square, B in Tesla, then the unit of the tau is Newton meter. So this is all about the torque experiencing by a current loop that is in shape of rectangular form and placed in uniform magnetic field. Okay, take care. Thank you.